speak today. I'm really honored to speak to you guys. As David said, I spent most of my career as a superintendent, but I did spend a brief stint in pre-construction with JE9. I learned a lot in the pre-construction department, so I'm really excited today to hopefully be able to give back to you guys some insights that I have from the other side of the fence. I want to start today and talk a little in general about Kansas City and where Kansas City is going. So I grew up in Kansas City, born and raised in Kansas City. I graduated college and started my career in Kansas City. And after about 27 years, I left Kansas City with zero intentions of coming back. That was the early 2000s, and in early 2000, a 20-year-old, what was there here in Kansas City? There was no reason to go downtown. There were more cops on the streets in West Park than there were people in the venues, and I surely did not have the money to shop on the plaza. So I left, and I didn't intend to come back. But as life happens, I came back to Kansas City 10 years later. I moved back to Kansas City in 2012, bought a little house in Waldo, and started experiencing the new Kansas City. I came back because I wanted to be near family. I was honestly not excited about coming back to Kansas City, and it took me a very short time to get really excited about Kansas City. I was amazed and intrigued and excited about what the Kansas City had done while I was gone. The vision that Kansas City had, what they started, particularly between 2004 and 2007, have set the structure, set the base for the growth we're experiencing today. Those projects, primarily between those years, we're talking about the entertainment district, the Sprint Center, the infrastructure improvements. If those hadn't happened before the downturn, we would not be growing in downtown Kansas City the way we are today. We would be nowhere near a streetcar, but we are. In the last 14 years, the downtown population has grown from 5,000 to 30,000 people. Rental rates have gone from $110 to $225 a square foot, and we continue to see 3% rental raises each year, and we anticipate another 3% raise in Kansas City in 2018. There were 6,000 apartment units added to the metro area last year alone, and rental leases are staying, units are staying 92 to 95% leased. That means they are wanting more apartments. So I know there are some of us, myself included, who look around and think, have we built too many apartments already? Is it really necessary to keep building? Why are people continuing to build apartments? There are another 3,000 already online permits that have already been pulled for units in the metro area, and people are wanting those units. They are wanting to move to downtown Kansas City. A lot of people aren't moving there with intentions to stay, but they want to experience. They want to experience this excitement, the convenience. They may move with intentions to stay 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. We have everyone. We have a lot of empty nesters that are moving downtown into our apartments. We have a lot of millennials. We have the whole spectrum of people that are wanting to move downtown. It's very exciting. Kansas City has grown a lot in the past 10 years, and we're going to continue that growth. We anticipate another 15 to 20 years of growth in Kansas City. A lot of that is due to the coastal regions. You look at the coastal regions of the United States, they're getting more expensive, they're getting more crowded, they're being more and more affected by the natural disasters, and people are moving inward. And we want them to move to Kansas City. We want Kansas City to be their answer. We want that to be where they land. And what Kansas City has done the last year with approving projects such as the Downtown Convention Hotel and the airport, these are huge steps for us to become that city that people want to move to. The new Convention Hotel is huge, not only for retail and restaurant business downtown, but also for hotels. Our research, we also build hotels. Our research has shown that people, when they're traveling, one of the primary factors them choosing where they stay within a metro area is based on hotel choices. What level of hotel fits their budget? The nicest hotels that will fit their budget is where they want to stay. That's the question they're asking themselves, and we want Kansas City downtown to be that answer. The convention hotel has 800 keys, so conventions need more than one hotel to house their attendees. So there's going to get to be a lot of competition in downtown hotels. They're going to be competing for this luxury market. So we see competition not only for remodels, people are going to want to be improving their products, but there's also going to be new builds for hotels in downtown. The airport is huge. It's a real opportunity for Kansas City to become a hub for major airlines. With Kansas City becoming a hub, more people are going to visit Kansas City. The more people that visit Kansas City, the more the word is going to spread about the convenience and the excitement and the things that we have to offer here, and the intent of that is to bring more business. More business to Kansas City, and when those business travelers arrive to our new airport, they're not going to look around and feel like they just arrived in small town America with our new airport. Don't get me wrong, I love the small town feel of Kansas City. It's one of my favorite things about Kansas City, but I'm ready for the day that I don't have to give my friends and family lists of reasons of why they should come visit Kansas City, and lists and reasons to my coworkers when they have to come to Kansas City for a few days to work of what they're going to do on their off time. I'm ready for Kansas City to stand on its own laurels and everyone be excited about coming to Kansas City without us having to explain why they should come. So, more multifamily, more hotels, more office spaces downtown, and a new airport. What are developers, what are owners looking for from you guys? What is it that we are not getting, that we want? What do we like that we're getting? This is where I want to take a few minutes and give you my perspective, but first I want to let you understand a little of where my perspective is coming from. So I obtained my degree in construction management and started working with sorry, I just forgot the name, J.M. Construction, in 1996 as a superintendent trainee. I spent the next 7 years working my way up the ladder. I started as a carpenter apprentice, achieved my journeyman status, I moved on to assistant superintendent, and finally in 2003 started running my own projects. I have ran projects from $3 million remodels to $100 million new construction, concrete, steel, stick frame structures, union, non-union environments, private, public funding projects, from Des Moines, Iowa to Houston, Texas. 26 inches of snow to 113 degrees on a regular day. It's been a lot of experience, and I loved being a superintendent. I absolutely loved being a superintendent, but one day several days, I woke up and thought, I don't want to do the same thing my entire career. I want an opportunity to do something different. And then I also looked around at what other superintendents look like at retirement, and I didn't want to lose my hair or maybe that much beard. So I decided it was time to do something different. And as a superintendent, I decided I really had two options, project management or pre-construction. And as a superintendent, you feel like you already know most of project management, so I felt like pre-construction is where I could really grow my knowledge base and my career. So I asked to move into the pre-construction department. It's a big change at J.A. Dunn. They hadn't had anyone do that before. I think they kind of thought I was a little nuts. But it was an incredible experience. It is amazing to look behind the curtain of the other side of the business. I remember feeling like one day I was on top of my game and sitting at a desk the next day in front of these programs I knew nothing about, and I felt like I was starting all over. But it was really great. The team there really helped me learn what it was. I learned a lot from them, and I think in turn they learned a lot from me as well. Not as much as I learned from them, but there are so many things that I think people take for granted. Let's take on-screen takeoff, for example. As a superintendent, I had never heard of on-screen takeoff. I didn't know what that was. I'm introduced to it in pre-con. That was amazing, and the field should have had that opportunity to use that program. As a superintendent, if I had on-screen takeoff, I wouldn't have been doing all of my own takeoffs for all of my self-performed work. That took me hours. It would have taken minutes. It was amazing. And it's interesting how the pre-construction department never crossed their mind that someone in the field would find that program useful. So cross-pollination within an organization, I think, is so important, and I think it's so overlooked. I forgot I was supposed to be looking at someone in case I'm running long.
You're good.
Thank you. I do that. Now I forgot where I was. Sorry. Yeah, that was my tangent. Okay, so anyway, I spent a year in pre-con, and near the end of my first year in pre-con, I received a call from a headhunter looking for an owner-developer representative within the Kansas City area. Within a couple of months, I moved to the Cordish company, and I've now been there 2 years. Coming not only from the general contractor side, but also from the field with a little touch of pre-con, I have a really interesting perspective with which to manage my projects, and I just wanted to give you guys some feedback on what I have seen on my side, what we're looking for and what we're not. In general, for multifamily clients, I think we're not looking for just that overall budget. I mean, you spend a lot of time putting estimates together, and when you hand it to us, just like any other client, we look at the bottom line, right? But then we try and figure out what to do. We also are looking for some more detailed information, such as how much are we spending on our typical finishes within typical units versus what is the premium we're paying for our penthouse unit finishes. Those kind of things help us understand if we're paying 20% more for penthouses on finishes, but we're only getting a 10% return on it, we need to reevaluate where we're spending our money. So just getting that bottom line number with all of your scope breakout, it's just not enough information for us to make decisions, because like any other client, the initial estimate is way more than we want to spend, but it's exactly the building we would like to build. So we just need a little more help from you guys on helping us understand where we're spending our money. Not particularly in different, not on mechanical, electrical, plumbing specifically, but within areas. For multifamily, the back of house areas are simply just not important. We want to spend all of our money up front where people walk in. When people rent apartments, they walk in, they love their unit, and then they walk into the amenity space, and the amenity space is what sells it. They think they're going to go in, they think they're going to love the amenity space, they think they're going to live in the amenity space. A lot of them don't even end up using it that often, but they love to show their friends and family that they have it and they anticipate using it, they just don't get around to it, but that's what sells it. So we want to know the amenity finishes. What are we spending on amenity finishes? Where could we make some changes to make it even better? Those are the separation in dollar amounts that we are kind of looking for. Another thing I would say for us, when we ask for pricing, and like the gentleman said from OnCenter, we're always looking for a bunch of alternates. Specifically with private funding, we're always looking for alternates. We're always looking for different options. We're not always looking for detail. A lot of times we're basing our decisions off of ROMs and square foot costs in the early stages. We don't really need the specifics. We're going to know as soon as you tell us that's probably a $40,000 upgrade. We're totally good with that. Let's dig in a little more. Or we're not. Let's not go down that road. And what I've watched happen in the past couple of years is the pre-con team has spent too much time delving into details to get us a number that says it's $38,927 when you probably already knew it was about 40 and could have told us that a week ago and saved yourself some time. So just make sure you're asking what type of number we're actually looking for. Another thing I'd like to say that I've watched being difficult with the contractor is we don't make decisions in a vacuum. So when you look at a list, you present a list of VE options, we don't look at it and say, okay, this tile, not this tile. We're looking at it as an overall number that amenities, we're spending X on amenities. I watched Jay Dunn get really frustrated, and rightly so, that they want to understand why we can't just decide today, we want to go with this tile, we want to go with this wall cover. We're looking at it as an overall picture. We need to get to that overall number for our amenity spaces, and then we'll figure out how to parse it down. If we finally decide this is our number, yet we're over it, we're just going to start going through the different items, but VE doesn't work for us on a simple yes/no basis. It's a little hard to explain, but I'm happy to talk to people more about it later. Last couple of things I want to say, like many owners, but especially private owners, we don't know what we want to spend. When we ask you to look at something or put something together, a lot of times you want to know what our budget is, and we don't really know. But what I've learned is that we tend to know what we don't want to spend. So when you ask for a budget and we say, I don't know, just tell us what it comes up with, I urge you to say, okay, so if it was around 100,000, you go with that. You're going to get an instant feedback from us on, oh, no, that's not what we were thinking. And it will help you determine that budget in your head. We work backwards like that. Right or wrong, that's just how we work. So try not to walk away with us not giving you a number. Just try to ask a few more questions to get a feel for what we're not willing to pay. The last two things are, we want you to understand our product. Understand that what we're looking for is this level. When you suggest this instead of this, that's not even something we would consider putting in our buildings. Or bring us ideas that you know we're trying to be the top with smart apartments or whatever, and you've read something, bring it to us. You know that's something that we might be interested, bring us your ideas. Get to know our product. Every apartment building is different, every owner is different. They are looking for different things. Go online. We have all of our apartments online. You can see what we have. The last thing I want to say is we just want to trust you. We are looking for a relationship. We want to be in partnership with you. We don't want to be at odds. We want to be in partnership. We want to trust you. We want to know that these are the right numbers. If you can't get us a number as fast as we want, tell us honestly. You know, don't try and throw it together. Just tell us. Put your foot down and say it's going to take 2 weeks or whatever it's going to take. Just be honest with us. We want a team member that we can trust and continue to do business with. Probably ran over. That's all I have to say. Thanks. Have a great day at the Academy. I'm looking forward to